Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors as always to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And in this lesson, we're going to identify the beast, his image, and his mark. All right, which are three things you must be able to identify to understand, all right, and or teach the mark of the beast as it is written in the Holy Scriptures. As you have many camps who are being cornered, all right, by the true doctrine, as the Scripture said, Luke the 2nd chapter, Yahweh Shai, who comes in a volume of the book, all right, is set, all right, for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and through his coming, which is fulfilled in prophecy, as the scriptures say, the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, his coming will make known the intents and thoughts of men, and we're finding out, all right, as the scriptures say, many have handled the word of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, deceitfully. All right. So when you watch a lot of these foxes, okay, break down the mark of the beast, one thing you notice is they never identify what the beast is, what his image is, and what is his mark. And if they do identify the image, okay, they'll associate it with a mere standing still image of so-called white Jesus, right? Well, today in this lesson, all right, Lord willing, you're edified on what the beast is, who the beast is, what his image is, and what his mark is, as those are three different things that must be clarified, that must be broken down. All right. Now, when you get the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, as we always go into, okay, we know that John the Revelator, all right, sees a vision, all right, of a beast system, all right, which we're going to show you that's associated with Rome, the Roman Empire, all right, and he sees a revival of the ancient Roman Empire and ultimately a mark that that system would issue right before the destruction. And how do we know that that mark would be issued right before the destruction? Well, when you get the book of Revelation, the 14th chapter, okay, as we read this chapter, we know and understand that this is the new song being sung by the men of the Lord who are associated with the 144,000 who have the everlasting gospel to preach. All right. And one of the main things associated with their doctrine is going to be what? The doom for the worshipers of the beast. All right. So this is Revelation 14:9. It says, "And a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice," as the angel speaks through the elect men on earth, because this message comes directly from the heavens. We're not speaking our own words. We are mere vessels used by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to get his point across. All right. And this is why we have to be thankful, because we don't deserve, all right, nor are we truly worthy of this calling. All right. However, through predestination, Lord willing, we're of that number to stay on the right path and teach this truth. Now it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice," as the men of the Lord are out on the highways and the byways doing these videos. That's the loud voice. Cry aloud, spare not, right? It says, "And if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hands, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." Okay, so this is how we know that the mark of the beast, all right, and what's associated with Revelation, the 13th chapter, all right, the 11th verse on down, is associated with end time prophecy. This is something that's specifically tied to the very end, because a judgment is going to come to those who take it, which is associated with the wrath of the Lamb. Now, you have individuals, trying to say, well, the mark of the beast was already fulfilled. All right. Then they'll say this, then they'll say that. Well, you've seen, all right, that the apostles, bishops, and elders and the brothers who have entered into their labors, all right, have stayed with one doctrine as concerning this. We're not all over the place. We're not changing it up every other year. All right. We've stuck to the script. So now, as you see, Revelation, the 14th chapter, is written right after Revelation, the 13th chapter, because as this beast system would establish, all right, their anti-Messiah, wicked, system in the earth, which is rooted in the Greco-Roman ideology and madness, as we'll show you, the 14th chapter gives, all right, the push against that, which would come in the form of the doctrine, okay, the gospel that will be preached. And this puts us in harm's way. This is why it says in Revelation 14 and 12, here is the patient and the faith of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and have the faith of Yahushai. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. All right. So ultimately, as we are preaching this doctrine, as we are preaching against the MOTB, as we are preaching against the beast, his image and his mark, as we're going to show you what that is, that puts us in harm's way. See? And ultimately, some of us are going to die for this gospel. All right. As it is written in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter and the 4th verse. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai and for the word of God, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark up on their forehead or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushai 1,000 years, which is the first 1,000 years. All right. Establishing the kingdom of heaven on earth. Okay. Yahushai and his men will be responsible, all right, for that duty. Okay. Now, as you see here, okay, there's the beast, there's the image of the beast, and there's his mark. Okay. So in this lesson, what we're going to do is identify those for you so that you can know what you're talking about. All right. As you're teaching and as you're listening to individuals, so say, break this down. Okay. So again, it's the mark of the beast. So you have the beast, his image, and his mark. Okay. Now, what is the beast? Or who is the beast? How do we identify the beast? Well, we go to Daniel, the 7th chapter. All right. And we know that there are 4 beasts, right, prophesied to rule. All right. In the Lord's, all right, program. All right. 4 beasts. Now, there are other kingdoms that have ruled, but these are the main 4 beasts that we are to follow and to track. All right. Not only to identify, all right, the scattering of the Israelites, but to identify, okay, prophecy. Right. So the first beast, as we always go into this, all right, is the Assyrian Babylonian Empire. The second beast is the Medes and the Persians. The third beast, as you can see here, it says like a leopard, right, which is the Greeks. And then you have the fourth beast, right? Now, the fourth beast we know is the Roman Empire, right? And this system, pursuant to the Holy Scriptures, is the very system that will be in rulership, all right, right before the Heavenly Father sent his only begotten Son back. This is why you see, all right, the Ancient of Days, which is the Most High, sets a judgment, all right, by sending his only begotten Son back through this system, all right? which is ultimately the Roman Empire. But the Roman Empire would be what? Killed, all right, in a sense of the fall of the Western Roman Empire, and then it would live again. Okay, as you see, Daniel 7:7 says, and I saw in the night visions a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, representing the Roman military. Was not Esau Edom blessed with the sword? And it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue of the feet. With the feet of it, they crushed all of the opposing, all right, kingdoms, and ultimately they were ruling. No other power structure had ever ruled as Rome ruled, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it in the sense of its senate and how they brought about their emperors and rulers. And it had 10 horns, which are the subordinate vassal, all right, territories that they ultimately had in league with them, which made it a beast system. And I considered the horns, and I beheld there came up among them another little horn. What this ultimately represents is the revival of that Roman system. See? As a matter of fact, let's get 2nd Esdras, the 11th chapter and the 39th verse. Now, this is talking about ancient Rome, but peep what it says here. All right? 2nd Esdras 11 and 39. Art not thou, all right, it that remainest of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? Okay? So the end, all right, will come through these four beasts, which the fourth beast is the Roman Empire. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and it had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, and with much wicked oppression, and so long time he dwelt upon the earth with deceit. Okay, now what nation of people run this beast, all right, is the biblical Edomites. And all you have to do is look up Edom, Rome, okay, Esau being the end of the world. There's various different ways we can link it, and we always go into it. The biblical Edomites, all right, run, all right, this fourth beast. This is why when you get the book of Obadiah, real quick, Obadiah in the last verse, it says what? And Savior shall come up on the Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahweh's. See? So tying it all together, this is what was said to the fourth beast, which is Rome, which we know that other little horn that came from the fourth beast represents the revival of Rome, which started with the Renaissance. It says, for the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, hast hurt the peaceable, hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrong dealing come up to the highest, and our pride unto the mighty. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. The highest have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And there shall appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed, and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. So this was said to the Roman Empire, all right, which we know, pursuant to Daniel, the 7th chapter, okay, this beast would be revived. There would be a little horn that came from this beast, right? And that's the revival of Rome, okay, which started at the Renaissance in Italy. Then you had the Spanish, the French, the British. Then came America. Also, those small hats over there, they're an extension of this system as well, okay? So as we even read this chapter, as you go down, it goes into this horn, okay, and how it would speak great words against the Most High, seek to change times and laws, but ultimately judgment would sit, okay, through this very system being destroyed and taken down by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, when you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, John the Revelator speaks on this beast system, all right? Revelation 13 and 11, all right? Well, as a matter of fact, let's start at 1, all right? And I stood up on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, the 7 heads, all right, starts with the Greeks, the Romans, Germania Major, Germania Minor, all right, the French, the Spanish, all right, and the British. And as it says in Revelation, the 17th chapter, the 8th is of the 7th, because America came out of the British. All right. Some people still consider America a colony of the British. America is owned by the British, by the banking families. Okay. And the 10 horns, all right, represents the EU. Back then in ancient Rome, all right, you had the Goths, the Vandals, the Visigoths, all right, the Sueves, and so forth, which are different territories that joined themselves into the Roman power structure, okay, which meant anywhere you went, all right, you were under the authority of Rome, okay? And this is how America operates today. This is why they can use the EU to help them go and destroy Saudi Arabia. This is why they can use the EU along with the small hats, all right, to wage war throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Okay. And they're unstoppable. They control trade, right, and everything. And upon his horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads, the names of blasphemy, because this system is ran by Edomites, who are what? Of the spirit of Satan. Okay. So this beast, all right, as John the Revelator describes it, was like unto a leopard. It started out as a leopard. Going back to Daniel, the 7th chapter, the leopard in Daniel 7, all right, and 6, and I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. This represents the Greeks, all right, as when you look at America today, it is not only full, all right, of Roman, all right, the culture of the Romans, but it's what? The culture of the Greeks as well. As a matter of fact, all right, so I typed in America has Greek and Roman customs. We know, all right, that America has Roman customs, but it also has, all right, the customs associated with the Greeks. Okay, yes, America incorporates many customs and ideas of both ancient Greece and Rome, particularly its political system, where concepts like democracy, rule of law, and separation of powers are heavily influenced by these ancient civilizations, and even the architecture of important buildings like the U.S. Capitol reflects their styles. All right, you can look up more. We don't have to go too deep into it. All right, but when you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, okay, John the Revelator told you this beast system, all right, that ultimately be responsible for ruling in end time prophecy. All right, the spirit of it started with the Greeks. All right, so the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, which the Greeks were Edomites as well. And his feet were as the feet of a bear, representing Russia. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Okay, because ultimately it will be through the Brits or the British that this dominance, okay, would ultimately be spread through colonization. All right. And we know out of the British, you know, in around the 1600s, all right, you can look up the Virginia Company, I believe. And then in 1776, you know, America uprooted themselves from under the British. all right, through the Revolutionary Wars. You can look that up. And the 13 colonies were established. Okay. So America is an extension, all right, of Rome through the British. You see that? Which brought about all of these ancient customs. You see what I'm saying? So his mouth was as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And the dragon represents Rome. All right. In the prior chapter here in Revelation, the 12th chapter, okay, the dragon is identified as the red dragon. Okay. The great red dragon, Satan, which when you read the book of 2nd Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, it told you, all right, the man of sin, which is Esau Edom, would come to do the bidding of Satan. Okay. That old serpent called the devil and Satan. Right. This is the book of Revelation 12:3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, red. Okay. Who's red associated with it in the scriptures? The Edomites. Okay. The scarlet colored beast. Scarlet is a derivative of red. All right. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So the same beast that we're reading about, okay, in the 13th chapter that John the Revelator is describing is the same beast talked about here. All right. But it's identified as a red dragon here. And it would be through the Roman Empire that they would get their seat and authority in the earth. Okay. Rome is what gave them that great authority in the earth. This is why, going back to Revelation, the 13th chapter, let's go back. Give me 1 second. Revelation 13:2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So it would be through the Roman Empire, all right, that Esau will really solidify his dominance. All right. We know the Greeks did it, but the Romans did it even better. See? And this is the seat and authority that they're bringing back into the earth. All right. To this very day. But it started at the Renaissance period, as we'll tap into that. And how do we know this great red dragon is associated with Rome? Okay. Because this great red dragon, as you read verse 4, said, in his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. The stars of heaven represents Israel. All right. And the third part represents Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, who were in the Roman captivity, and did cast them to the earth because they were what? Subject to the Roman rule. They had to pay taxes, and they were subject to the Roman rule. You see? And being cast down to the earth means you're what? In a low estate. This is why the disciples, okay, while the Romans were ruling, asked here in Acts 1:6, when they would therefore come together, all right, it gives a better wording in the NLT. It says, so when the apostles were with Yahushua, they kept asking him, Lord, has the time come for you to free Israel and to restore our kingdom? All right. And that wasn't the time, because that was during the 4th beast. Okay. Ultimately, the kingdom would come during the what? All right. The end of the revival of the 4th beast. You see, and who was ruling at the time that Yahushua was on the scene? The Romans. Okay. The Romans. That's why you see the word Romans. All right. As a matter of fact, John 11:48, this was the mindset of the leaders. Okay. If we thus let him alone, speaking of Yahushua, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Let's look up this word Romans. Okay. The Greek word is
Strong's G 4514. Chromios. Chromios.
A resident of a city of Rome, a Roman citizen, okay? And ultimately, this was who was in rulership when Yahushua was on the scene. This is the fourth beast spoken of in Daniel, the 7th chapter, okay? Now, how do we know this red dragon is associated with the Roman Empire? Well, when you keep reading, Revelation 12:4, it says, and his tail drew the third parts of the stars of heaven, which the stars of heaven, all right, the 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel when you go up in this chapter. But as you read, it says, and did cast them to the earth, the third part of the stars of heaven, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, and for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And where could you find that history at? Okay. That's going to lead you to Matthew, the 2nd chapter, when King Herod, an Amalekite, Edomite, who was set up by Rome, ultimately wanted to kill the Messiah. Before ultimately he, when he came out of the womb, he wanted to end him. Okay? Because ultimately this child was set to rule all nations with a rod of iron. So Herod, who's an Edomite, wanted to what? Kill the Messiah. So ultimately the red dragon is associated with the Roman Empire. So what John the Revelator is saying here in Revelation 13:2, let's read it again. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, because it started with the Greeks. Okay. Why do you see so much Hellenization, all right, here in this system? You have Greek fraternities. All right. Many of the customs of today go back to the Greeks, but the bulk of it goes back to Rome. Okay. And when we deal with the Renaissance, we're going to show you that brought about not only Roman customs, but Greek customs. And his feet were as the feet of a bear. Rome, ultimately Russia is going to be used to end it. And his mouth as a mouth of a lion, representing UK. Okay. Which ultimately will, through colonization, all right, that Roman authority would be spread, right? And America would come out of that. And the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. So the dragon is that same red dragon we read about in the chapter prior, Romans, Revelation, the 12th chapter, Salakia. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, which is the fall of the Western Roman Empire. But see, his deadly wound was healed, and the world wondered after the beast. Okay, and let's look up this word wondered. Okay, the world wondered after the beast. Okay, because the Western Roman Empire fell. All right, but after 1,000 years, there was a renaissance, which the word renaissance means rebirth. The word for wondered after.
Strong's G 2296. Thalmazo. Thalmazo.
To wonder, wonder at, marvel, to be wondered at, to be had in admiration. Right? And the people of the earth admire, all right, the ancient Greco-Roman way through the very system we live in. They're wondering after it. See that? And they worship the dragon, which gave power to the beast. So the dragon, Rome, gave power to this beast system. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him, because they are blessed with the sword. Remember, Esau, Edom was blessed with the sword in Genesis, the 27th chapter. So these empires were very, very warlike. They were very, very dominant in how they conquered, right? And his deadly wound was healed. One of his heads that was wounded unto death speaks to what? All right. The fall of the Western Roman Empire, but it was what? Reborn through the Renaissance, which Renaissance okay, is a revival of art and literature under the influence of classical models, which takes you back to the Greco-Roman Empire, or the Rome specifically. All right, and it means to what? To the revival, renewed interest in something. Okay, so what did the Renaissance do? Yes, the Renaissance helped to reestablish Rome as the center of art and culture. Okay, that's all you need to know. All right, and when you go into the Renaissance, not only did it bring about, all right, Roman culture, all right, as you can see here, it brought about, all right, a rediscovery of Greek philosophy. Okay, Greek. Okay, you can see Greek as well when you deal with the Renaissance. All right, it was a lot of Greek influence being brought back as well. Okay, Greek, 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 Greek. Humanism. Okay, which these are the philosophies that dominate the world today, because these systems, this system we live in, which is the beast system, brought all of this back. So when you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, this beast that it's speaking about, all right, is ultimately the Greco-Roman Empire, which Rome gave it its dominance. Rome fell and Rome was revived, leading us, all right, to the little horn spoken of in Daniel. And then you get Revelation, the 13th chapter, right? In the 11th verse, where it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb, and it spake as a dragon. This speaks to America, right? Which brought back the image of the beast. How do we know that? And it exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. See, how was the deadly wound healed? Through the Renaissance, which started at Italy. All right, then you would have the French, the Spanish, Germany's up in there. Okay, of course the British. Then you would have America. These, all right, power structures, these rulerships brought back ancient Rome in policy, culture, influence, dominance. So the deadly wound was healed. Okay? So now we know what the beast is. Okay? The beast, all right, is the Roman Empire. Okay? Now, as we go to, okay, let's read it again. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image. So you have the beast and you have the image, and receive his mark. So what is the image of the beast? Most of these camps will tell you that the image of the beast is mainly a picture of white Jesus, and that's it. Right? Some of them are starting to change it from what I'm hearing. But the image of the beast, let's look up the word image. As a matter of fact, let's go here. And we've done lessons like this all the time, but this is just a topic that I love. I'm fixated on this topic. All right, because I see how men mishandle the word of the Heavenly Father, man. Okay? Let's read Revelation 13:12 again. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. This is what America would do. And calls the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. This is why you're going to the Colosseum. Okay, this is why you're celebrating Christmas. All of these customs go back to the ancient Greco-Roman Empire, man. Right? And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven and the earth in the sight of men, because that sword, that power that was given unto them in the form of a blessing, all right, would go nuclear. Okay, they would eventually develop missiles. Right? And people were like, damn. And it says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, okay, which had a wound by the sword and did live. So you should make an image of ancient Rome, all right, by your beliefs, by your way of living. And what is the word image? Okay. The word is icon. Okay. Icon. And when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? Ain't that a saying? See what that means. Let's type that in. Yes, as you can see, it was a film, but I typed in, what does the saying when in Rome means? It says the phrase when in Rome, do as the Romans do, refers to the importance of adapting yourself to the customs of the people who are in a certain place or situation and behave like they do. Okay, as the scriptures say in the book of, let's get Sirach, the 10th chapter. And anyone breaking this down different than what we are breaking it down, starting with our apostles, bishops, and elders, they're wrong. Okay? And we're not saying that out of pride, but listen and look at what we're going into, man. And listen to what John the Revelator said. Okay? Because a lot of these charlatans are now caught between a rock and a hard place, and their doctrine isn't holding up. Okay? This is the book of Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of a city is, such are all they that dwell therein. See that? And when you look at, all right, America, okay, they have fixated everyone's minds in full-blown rebellion, okay, against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Remember, this beast system had the names of blasphemy. So when you go to school, okay, when you deal with art, entertainment, it is all rooted in anti-Messiah. Okay? So the word for image is icon, and it means likeness, figure. All right? Just like Yahweh Shai is the made in the image of his father. It says, one in whom the likeness of anyone is seen. See that? Applied to a man on account of his power of command. Okay, so when they're telling you to take that jizab, right, that is established in their what? Their image. Because don't they have, or as a matter of fact, let's look up Asclepius, which when you look up the image of Asclepius, okay, it is rooted in what we know as today's med field. All right, but in a deeper sense, that goes back, all right, to the Greek, all right, not only the Greek, the Greco-Roman god of meds. Okay? Okay? Point blank period. So that's a part of their image. See? Their practices and methods of healing has nothing to do with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Point blank period. And when you deal with the Renaissance, there was a medical Renaissance as well. And this is not medical information. All right? But the Renaissance advancements in medical, yep. All right, in the 14th through the 17th century, when the Renaissance was established, they also brought, all right, a medical knowledge. Again, this is not medical information. We're just in the news, okay? So again, we're just showing you that to show you, okay, what John the Revelator is seeing, what he's saying unto you. So you have the beast, then you have the image of the beast. So he told the people that they should what? Conform themselves to his image. All right. Even to the point now where they're saying you have to link and merge your physical body with technology. That's a part of their image. All right. Now that Rome has went technological, okay, you're going to have to put our idol in you. So they're going to make an image to the beast. They're going to force you to do that, right? They have power. Let's read it again. Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them, and the miracles goes into his technology, his science, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image, all right, to the beast which had a wound by a sword and did live. Okay. Now, are they telling you, all right, in this day and time that you, are they bringing up Christianity anymore? No, it's all changed, as Christianity and white Jesus was used, all right, as a method of conquering, poisoning. And that's a part of the image of the beast, their false Christianity. But it's deeper, all right, than a mere standing still image. As it says in the next verse, and he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and it's speaking through the world we live in. Again, I always bring this out, and I'm not going to play it all, but this is a video I did recently. Prophecy Watch, the image of the beast, ancient Rome, America, and history you must know. Okay? And in this video, it shows you how the customs of America are rooted and influenced by ancient Rome. I'm not going to play it. You can just look that up. So, all right. Now, you have the beast. Okay. You have the image of the beast. All right. Let's get it again. Revelation 14 and 9. And third angel followed them. All right. The men of the Lord. And this will be a big part of end time prophecy. The new song, a part of the new song is saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, ultimately you're going to be destroyed. Okay. And those who are delivered, it says here in Revelation 15 and 2, this is how you know, all right, that this mark is rooted in end time prophecy. Revelation 15 and 2, because if you see how Revelation 13, 14, and 15 are written, okay, it shows you the beast system and the plan of it and what it would do in end time prophecy. In 13, it shows you in 14, the new song, which would be directly opposed to the blasphemies of the beast and his image, okay, and his mark. And then in chapter 15, Revelation 15 and 2, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten victory over the beast, right, and over his image, and over his mark. Okay, you notice these camps never fully identify who the beast is, how it differs from the image of the beast, and how it differs from his mark. Well, we're doing that here today, and we've always done it. Okay, and over the number of his name. Okay, which will show you the number of his name is associated with 666. Okay, so now going back to Revelation, the 13th chapter, after he deceives you by his many miracles and by his science and everything else, all right, while he brings the alphabet, all right, the Libiquita community and all of these various different blasphemies, all right, and pass laws that you can't speak against them. Okay, pass laws that you have to physically do things in order to live on earth, put things in your body and all of this. Then verse 16, all right, and if you don't, you will be killed, which we always show you that word killed could mean physically killed, or it can mean separated, meaning you won't have fellowship with the beast system if you don't pledge allegiance, all right, by bowing to their image, right? which their image is not white Jesus. Okay? It's deeper than that. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, there's a particular camp that says, and a lot of these other camps that say that this is not talking about men. This is merely talking about nations. Well, what is nations made up of? Okay, if we talk about, all right, the UK or the Netherlands, okay, you could say that's a nation. Well, what makes that a nation? The people, the citizens. As we read, okay, again in Revelation, the 14th chapter, the warning against this madness says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship, okay, because if you believe in their policies, if you believe in their system, if you took their juice and their jizzabs and you follow their way and you're all up the white man's ass, you worship him, you worship his image, you worship his policies, okay, you worship his rulership, you're going to take his mark. Few people are going to rebel, right? Because you have a lot of people who worship the beast in his image, but a lot of them don't want to take his charagma. They're going to fight against that mark. These truthers, they stand for America. They stand for how America was established. All right. But when it comes down to it, the Lord has put a spirit on them to rebel against the direction it's going in. So again, he's going to cause. So there's a difference between the beast and his image and his mark. Okay. So he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And we always go into, all right, this word. Okay. This word. Okay. Mark. So we're breaking down the difference between the beast, his image, and his mark. Okay. And again, if you want more of an in-depth understanding of what the image is, all right, just look up this video that I did, or you could just type in GMS image of the beast, and it goes into it, man. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's just play a little bit of this.
The Eternal City. It was founded over 2,700 years ago by twin brothers Romulus and Remus. For centuries, the people and emperors of Rome ruled the known world. Through war and conquest, they dominated the entire Mediterranean.
And the original Rome was founded by the Japhetic people. Okay, the Japhites, which were a dark-skinned nation of people, but it was eventually conquered by the Greeks and the Romans. Okay, Edomites took over these regions, man. Okay.
And controlled a territory which spanned 3 continents. It was home to legendary figures like Julius Caesar and Augustus, but also to crazed emperors Nero and Caligula. Rome's history is a violent one. It was a civilization founded on bloodshed and lust, and would eventually destroy itself in the same manner. Present all Rome had to offer. Typical perceptions of Rome include constant gladiator games, wine-fueled orgies, and prosperity among all. These are all dramatized visions of glorious culture that was far more similar to our own than it was different. Their influence and contributions can be felt even today. By examining the history and culture of ancient Rome, we're able to see that not all of Rome died in its collapse. In uniforms. It was also incorporated into the emblem of the consulate, after Napoleon declared himself first consul, a title also derived from ancient Rome. During World War II, the Nazis held party rallies and demonstrations while carrying Roman standards, which were topped with the eagle.
To Germany, you know?
At the same time, fascist dictator Benito Mussolini, who envisioned Italy becoming the new Rome, also used ancient Roman symbols, including the fasces. It was a tool carried by Roman civil servants known as lictors, in order to preserve the peace or hand out punishment. Even the word fascism is derived from the ancient Roman tool. It also appears in numerous forms throughout the United States, representing strength or justice. The olive branch was also used in everyday life by the Romans. Olives were a precious commodity in the ancient world, despite the amount of labor required to produce them. Extending an olive branch to an enemy, therefore, became known as a symbol offering peace, as they could only be grown during peacetime. The olive branch appears on the official seal of the president, which has been in use since 1880, and on the United Nations flag. In the mid-1st century BC, Julius Caesar replaced the old Roman calendar, which had 355 days, with a new one, reorganized with 365 days, with one leap year every 4 years. The renovated Julian calendar is essentially identical to the calendar system used today. Originally, the older style calendar put the beginning of the new year in March, at the start of spring. Julius Caesar had the new year coincide with the 1st of January. Most of the names for the months are...
So as you can see, the calendar, everything that runs the current world we live in are rooted in Greco-Roman customs. That's the image. Then you have the mark of the beast. So John the Revelator is showing you a system, all right, the Greco-Roman system, and how Rome would fall and be reborn through a Renaissance. And after the Renaissance, they would go colonizing, destroying, rape, robbing, and murdering up until America is established, right? And through America in the beast system, all right, that would mark the revival of Rome. You have the EU, NATO. They would issue forth a mark as a decree, as something you would have to take, all right, in order to buy and sell, which it goes deeper than buying and selling. But again, all right, charagma, which the root word of charagma, okay, is karax. Karax, to sharpen to a point. So this is physical. Through the idea of scratching, this is a physical thing. Okay? And we always go into it, a stamped and printed mark, you know, stamped up on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. And in ancient times, even with the Greeks and the Romans, all right, they had tattoos, all right? Greek branding. All we have to do is type in Greeks. All right. Greek brand. Let's get. Okay, the ancient. Okay. They would brand you. Okay. Give me 1 second. Which is a custom that they did today in these times with their slaves. Right? As a matter of fact, I believe I have a, give me 1 second, let this load. Branding, all right, the permanent marking of livestock used as a distinctive design, made, all right, hot metal, tattoo, paint, yada, 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 okay? And I'm pretty, when you go to the history of it, it says historical evidence indicates that hot iron branding of livestock and slaves, of course, was practiced in Egypt. Give me 1 second. Let me let this load. Practiced in Egypt, okay, as early as 2000 BCE. Boom. The ancient Greeks branded their slaves with delta for doulos, slave. Okay, so as you can see, this is an ancient custom. You can look up a custom called the mark of consecration. Okay, but the Romans did it as well, all right, through tattoos, brands, okay? In the American colonies, the branding of petty criminals was fairly common, but was abolished before the American Revolution. The use of branding to identify slaves, all right, in the antebellum, there's a movie called Antebellum where that happened, in the United States was widespread. However, it was often employed to punish slaves who had attempted to escape. Okay, Frederick Douglass described this process in a chilling detail. So as you can see, this is a custom that goes back to not only the Egypt, the Greeks did it, the Romans did it. Okay, in Rome, it was a tattoo. Okay. In ancient Rome, slaves were often tattooed as a form of punishment and to clearly identify them as property, particularly if they attempted to escape. So again, if that which is then is now, okay, how will this very thing play out in this time? See, it's not a philosophy. It's a physical thing, all right, that ultimately is going to tie you to their philosophy. It's going to tie you to them, all right, being your God, all right. Social stigma tattoos were associated with a lower class, punishment, identification. The primary reason was to identify a slave, okay. So again, this ancient system, all right, that John the Revelator, it was around during John's time as a form of, branding, as a form of tattooing, okay. John is seeing in a future tense through the end of this beast system, okay, the very same kind of system, all right, but it will be associated with miracles. And what do we see today? Okay, as a matter of fact, I think I had a video. Me 1 second here.
It was needful.
And now it's time for a special edition of Lefties Losing It.
Give me
Let
1
us
second.
take a moment.
I think I saved the video yesterday. Let's see if I got it here.
Cattle brands are designed seared into the hide of livestock to identify the owner. Introduced by the Spanish in North America,
The Spanish is a part of the beast system. That's one of the 7 heads, right? But where did they get that from? See, this is how the image is living today. Okay, all of these customs were passed down.
branding has been practiced for about 700 years. On the open range, cattlemen took pride in recognizing different brands, and some, like the famous Nat Love, became professional brand readers who helped settle disputes. Branding language was easy to understand once mastered, and most brands on the Texas frontier were made with dotting irons, a half circle, a small half circle, and a straight line. Using these tools, ranchers could create a variety of designs. Brands were read from top to bottom and left to right. Cattle thieves, known as brand burners, would alter brands. To combat this, ranchers created larger brands harder to modify.
So what are they going to do today? That you can't modify.
In 1881, George B. Loving published the Stock Manual, a comprehensive list of Texas stock brands with over 2,000 registered. Join us at Wild West.
So there you go. So John the Revelator is basically seeing that very same kind of system, but again, how will that play out today? Well, I mean, through these chips, look what they're talking about doing. The quantum chip is going to change the world. Okay? And people are all about it. And there's so many avenues and aspects of this technology being promoted. Like they put Elon Musk out there, but there's all kind of stuff going on.
Google is transforming the landscape of computing with its new quantum chip called Willow. This innovation indicates a new era of speed and efficiency.
And they're going to merge all of this with man. Okay? Okay? Will humans evolve into something smarter? See that? Let's look it up. A belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations by the means of science and technology. And this is not medical information, man. We're just in the news. The beast, the image, and the mark, goddammit. All right. Let's just type in merging with machine. Okay. The merging of humans and machines is the integration of human machine and machine functions, or the view of the human machine system as a single entity. Brain controlled implants. All right. They have the brain interface. AI. Neuralink, merging man with machine. So again, go back here. What is John the Revelator talking about as he sees this? Okay? Charagma. All right, and this letter was written unto the 7 churches, all right, which the bulk of the followers that will read these letters, all right, knew and understood, all right, the Koine Greek. So this letter was written, all right, to the churches, man, the Israelites who were scattered throughout these particular regions. And ultimately that speaks to us, as Yahweh Shai told us, okay, that ultimately the church Acts 1:6. And when they would therefore come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore the kingdom to Israel? And he said, it is not for you to know the times and seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me in Jerusalem, in Judea, and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. Because the church, all right, will be raised up here in Babylon the Great, all right, where the great awakening would take place, the valley of dry bones. This will be the main, all right, area of the great awakening, as well as the various different places where we're scattered. But the word is eschatos, uttermost part, extreme, last in place or in time, last in a series of places. Our final captivity, last in the temporal succession, referring to time, uttermost part, end of the earth, America, of rank, grade of worth, the lowest. And this is the lowest of all of the captivities. Okay. And ultimately in end time prophecy, okay, the church will be raised up, and we will go into these very letters. You see that? And break these things down. John the Revelator didn't know what was going on. He just received a vision. But see, as you can see here, a stamp as a badge of servitude. What is a badge of servitude? A badge of servitude refers to a social or legal restriction. While not explicitly slavery, is considered a lingering effect of slavery and functions to limit the freedoms and opportunities of a person based on their race. All right. But ultimately, you will be, all right, subject to receiving the charagma in the near future if you want, okay, to live, man. If you want to buy and sell, which that's life. All right. That's life. Okay. But more than anything, it's going to ultimately make him your owner. So He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of his name, which the number of his name is associated with 666, chi-size stigma. We always break that down. Okay. But the end all be all, stigma, is a mark pricked or branded on the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name stamp or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token to their gods. A scar of service. Okay. So how is this going to play out today? So now we know what the beast is. We understand the image, and we know what the mark is, which these are three things that must be identified and broken down. Okay. And if you ultimately take this mark, you are putting his name on you. You are entering into a covenant, which the word covenant means to cut, agreement with this man and acknowledging him as your God. All right. So we're going to leave that there. Hopefully y'all edify. I got to roll. Shalom.